I was just basically someone who's working a lot at that point, and when I read this I was like, that sounds perfect, because I used to do theatre at some point and I hadn't done anything since I started working, so I was expecting a lot of theatre. You guys said that we'll have mentors who are going to do workshops with you, and that sounded really exciting as well. And the only concern that I had was I'm a sleepaholic, so I can sleep like 12 hours straight, so I was just like, wow, that's going to be an interesting challenge to put myself through. But yes,
there'd be a couple of exercises and then we just get right into making something. But I've never been in theatre before, so I had no idea as such as how you work with, you know.
It was different. It was different from what I've usually done, because it wasn't completely improv. It wasn't like 5 minutes and, you know, present something. But so working with a group there was a bit iffy.
To be honest, I wanted to see whether is it possible or not, because just in 24 hours meeting with strangers and writing a play with them sounded somewhat impossible to me. So I just wanted to give it a try.
You might feel a pen, you might feel free. So now, be affected by that. And you are no longer moving your step. Excellent, behind me, come quickly out of the face. Run, run, run. 6, 7, 8, and up. Yes, excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it won't be possible in all combinations, but be aware. Yes. And now put your hands on his back and he will pop you. Very nice. Down, feet up. Excellent. And in position. Once my hands are on the floor, everybody does it. Okay, so we do it in pause. We do it in pause.
They didn't like that.
And the puppet session was entirely a different take on theatre, because you never, I mean, that makes you so conscious of how you control your body. And a person like me, I'm very, I just keep moving my body and I don't put any conscious thought in it at all. So, you know, the puppet session sort of made me understand there's so much more to body when you're doing theatre, and even in real life. And then Niranjani's session was about, you know, establishing physical space through body. And it was very interesting because people would take chances to go on stage and you could sit back and look at the mistakes that they were making or their conceptualizations and things like that. It essentially helped me become very conscious of my body and how that could be used to express something even without saying a word. So my non-verbal became very obvious to me.
I loved the puppetry session, especially in terms of, you know, keeping in mind how your body moves and, you know, working the puppet along that lines. And that I think is very important, because you need to be conscious of what every movement translates into and what it means on stage. So I loved that, and I loved also where we had to showcase a space and as a group, and you were able to give us feedback as to how, you know, we were showing you things as opposed to actually doing them in the play. So, you know, being involved in the action of the play itself. So that way I think it's like, you know, sound bites of this much information, you know, this is like little bits of advice in between and things to get involved.
Anurupa thing, right, with the puppets, that was the most interesting in a way, because like I'm an architect by profession, right? So when you think about it, like movement of people is like something I have to think about.
Yeah, so one each, one from each group.
Look at that. I want to touch the screen. Yeah.
Just the body.
So there were times when I was very tired and I was like, my God, I can't believe I'm doing this to myself. And I think I'd OD'd on Red Bull. Like I had about 5-6 Red Bulls that day. But it was a lot of fun. And essentially, when we were making that play, I really didn't think it was going to happen because it was not turning out to be anything. But to be actually able to prepare something by the end of that one day and to be able to present it to a live audience was a different sort of a high. It was awesome. I think we took a concept which was interesting, but beyond that, to develop something so erratic was very hard for all of us. And there was a point when one of my team members was crying and another one was fighting and things like that, you know, group dynamics that you would see with any people. So I think we had a concept, but we didn't have the sense and we didn't know how to collaborate with each other. The communication was a problem at some point, but eventually we all were just like, let's just do it. And that's when we got together and we were like, forget our differences, we'll just, you know.
I didn't sleep at all, but yeah, I was a little tired. I mean, I think that's to be expected.
We took a bath in the
yeah, we took a
morning.
bath and that,
Yeah,
it was a little better after that. Yeah. But I think after we got over, I had to go somewhere, and you guys are still here.
Yeah,
and as soon as I sit in the car, as soon as I sat in the car, I was out. Yeah. So there was a guy, like my friend, driving next to me, and I was like sleeping. Till I got home, I was sleeping, and then I went home and slept some more. So yeah.
It took me a long
time. It seems I was pretty tired.
Sleep back to normal, you know.
Yeah.
Clock
A lot of nothing for a while actually, and I think we were really tired. And I think we were having on some level, I think I think our background it was all like a little bit mixed up, so we weren't really gelling or, you know, fitting together that well. It's not like I think one of the groups, you know, they were just literally bouncing ideas out of each other, and here we were just sort of like, you want to do this or like maybe this, and so there was a bit of the processing bit of it. There were ideas, but not ones that would have worked well together, I think. And then I know I got really frustrated by the end of it, and my patience was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just done.
बेकार ही इन सब चीज़ों में पड़ा हूँ मैं. कुछ बड़ा देखूँगा अब कुछ बड़ा देखूँगा. कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. साले इन कुकुर मुत्तों को जब शांत कराना है ना, कुछ बड़ा करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, you remember the day when we have been there?
It was
Yes.
Wednesday,
No,
right?
it wasn't Wednesday, it was Thursday.
Oh.
Okay, so you remember, was it Thai or was it Italian? What was it, huh?
People must forget memories. You know, some memories must be removed. Time must be divided. Yeah, divided and selected and then deleted.
हम लोग ये करेंगे कि देख दो प्रोसेस, ठीक है. अब हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि वहाँ पे लाएंगे एक उगती हुई मछली, खूनी मछली, खूनी मछली.
I personally loved how well we sort of, you know, bounced off each other on stage, and that just that was pretty much the highlight of the entire event for me that way.
I would like to say that it was an amazing experience. The very concept of making a play, writing it, directing it and performing it was great.